Hi there, everyone. I am Ray Gauthier, and welcome to another edition of my Daily Walkabout. Again, we are doing this one in the morning. Not quite as early as the last one. It's not just before 8 o'clock. 8 a.m. on I don't even know what day it is today. I think it's Wednesday, the 9th or something of April. And finally, we have a nice day today. The last couple days here in Langley, it's just been doing nothing but raining. And not quite, not quite the way you want to spend your reset in the pouring rain. But today it's nicer. The sun's even trying to break through. And the other day, wasn't yesterday, it was Monday. I went to the Pro Bass shop and bought some camping supplies, and I was really hoping to use those, but it wouldn't stop raining. So I'm like, maybe when I come back on my next reset, I'll do that. So, hopefully I won't be sneezing and clearing my throat too much, because this is officially pollen season. And it's not treating me very good, so please be patient with me. Again, it's not a bad day. I'm over at the Costco right now, waiting for them to open up at 8:30 or 8:45. Last time I was here, there was a massive lineup. An hour before they even opened. I'm like, what's the deal with that? Till I went inside and asked the lady, like, is there something special going on today? What's with the big lineup? Oh, we're selling our Pokemon cards. I'm like, really? Grown adults sitting in a long lineup on a Monday morning? Excuse me. To buy Pokemon cards? That's a bit eccentric, isn't it? Unusual. No disrespect intended for those who like to collect them. But I would think you'd have better things to do with your life than collect playing cards. But to each their own, I guess. Today, it's not so much of a lineup here. But yeah, anyway, I'm just here to grab a few supplies for the week, because I am being positive, hoping that I'll be out of here in the next day or two. Anyway, today I wanted to talk about scammers. Now, without revealing too much information, a friend of mine had shared with me, a family member of theirs had been scammed by scammers multiple times, and that they were calling them again. Probably because the last time they called them, they were able to get away with a substantial amount of money. And I guess they decided to call them back. They figured they were easy pickings. And I'll tell you something. It's easy if you're not used to these people. It is very, very easy to get possibly conned into this. And I'll tell you why. A lot of these call centers from these scammers come right out of India. It's been proven. There's been arrests made. And all they do is shut the building down and move to another building, and they keep doing it. So, because we have such a high population of Indian and Punjabis, it's very hard to decipher if this is a legitimate person working for the government, or a legitimate person working for Amazon or Best Buy or whatever scam they've got. A lot of it's Amazon. Oh, you bought this iPhone, and or someone bought an iPhone on your account, or eBay, or whatever it is. I get a kick out of those. I don't have an Amazon account. I don't have an eBay account. I don't have any online account. My credit card isn't anywhere online, but I'll still get these phone calls saying that someone tried to buy an iPhone or whatever, or a substantial item on my Amazon account, and they need, unless I want to put a stop to it, it's going to go through on my credit card. I play along with them for probably 20 minutes until I say to them, well, I think you got the wrong number because I don't have an Amazon account. And then they'll keep going. And I'm like, buddy, you're a scammer, and I know you are. And this call is being recorded for quality assurance, and then they hang up. They don't care. And I'll tell you, that's the problem. These scammers, men and women, I've had women call me too, it's not just the men. They call you, they are absolutely heartless. They don't care who they steal from. They don't care whether or not they are stealing a life savings of somebody or someone on retirement that doesn't have a lot of money to live on, that they're getting by every day by whatever old age pension check they're getting, or Social Security or whatever it is, depending what country you're in. They're heartless. They don't care. Again, I don't know how these people sleep at night. I've said this before in other conversations. Just the evil in some people's hearts. How do they sleep at night? I don't get it. Because from what I've heard from conversations with other Indian people, and I mean people from India, money is very important. It's all about being the Jones. You know, remember the Joneses? Oh, we got to keep up to the Joneses down the road. The bigger house you got, the flashier car you have, the flashier shoes and necklace you have, that all matters. Are you prominent? You are respected. It's all about money. It's all about wealth. I don't know if that's part of their religion. I don't know. Maybe somebody can leave me a comment and let me know, why is it that the Indian people are so obsessed with wealth? The bigger house you got, the fancier, everything you got is better. And you know, that's the difference between something like that and the life when you're walking with Yeshua, Jesus Christ. It's about humility. It's about not what you have, but what you can give. And you know, don't get me wrong. I know a lot of the Indian people are very generous, especially in their temple or their church or their whatever it is they go to. A lot of the time, especially the Sikhs. You'll go to their Sikh temple and they will have once or twice a week or whatever it is, they'll have it so people can come in off the street and have food. So they're very nice people. And I want to make one thing clear. I'm not stereotyping all Indian people. I'm just saying that's where a majority of these scams come out of. It comes out of call centers in India. And because we live in Canada, and most places, if you call Amazon or anybody, Walmart, most of the call centers you call here are probably out in India, because they don't want to have regular customer service that we have out here, like the Costco or whatever. I don't know if it's like that for Costco. I know it's like that for Walmart. I know it's like that to some other bigger corporations. They just have their call centers in countries like India because it's cheaper. And they're too cheap to hire regular Americans and Canadians to do their own call center. So you don't really know whether or not the person's from a real call center or if they're being scammed. That's why it's so easy out here. Because some might say, well, only a fool would get fooled by that. No. I'll tell you what gives it away. Ask them what their name is. If someone calls you and they're talking about, say, something on, let's just say they're saying that someone has purchased an iPhone on your credit card. Well, nothing wrong with saying, oh, okay. Well, we certainly don't want that happening. Who am I speaking with? And believe it or not, most of them will say, oh, and again, I'm not mocking the accent or nothing. I'm trying to share with you what it really does sound like. And you'll say, well, who am I speaking to? Oh, my name is Michael. Nice to meet you. Michael, huh? How many Michaels do you know? How many Indian people do you know parents are actually going to call their kid Michael or John or Joseph or Edward? The part that makes me laugh, they're not smart enough to say, just call your name like another name. Call yourself Bandeep or something or whatever. It's quite obvious with your accent that you're Indian or Punjabi. By saying your name is Michael, it's a complete giveaway that you're a scammer. But people still fall for it. They do. And it's sad. I've had scammers call me. I've actually recorded people calling me. Now that the new iPhones have a little feature on there where you can actually record your conversations. A lot of the time, they don't even know that you clicked that button. Now, when you do get scammed though, they find a way to get into your computer. That's where it gets scary, because normally they will install some kind of a software on your computer and they'll be able to get access to it whenever they want. So if you are older or not familiar with these scams, I would say never have any personal information regarding your credit card or your banking information actually on your computer or even on your phone. A lot of people have apps, but a lot of those bank apps and credit card apps are quite secure. You can do face recognition to get into them. You certainly don't want that personal information on your computer. But in some cases, people do. And there's firewalls you can put on. There's lots of different features you can put on. Just talk to your financial institution and ask them how you can secure your account better. Never a bad idea. Like with my credit card, if there is a substantial amount of money that's trying to be purchased on my credit card, I get a message from my credit card company and they say, hey, this is trying to be purchased. Do you authorize this? And I literally have to say yes or no in a text message. And if I say no, they block it. Every credit card company, I'm sure, has that feature. Look into it. It's a nice feature to have. Most people don't think that exists, but it does. And if it doesn't, maybe you need to move to another credit card company that does provide it. Don't answer phone calls. And I'm telling those that aren't familiar with this, or maybe really don't know much about it. I'm not talking about those that know all about this, so please don't feel insulted by this. Never answer a phone call that you don't know who it is. 2 reasons. For one thing, they'll end up calling you and try to scam you. Second of all, if you answer your phone, you're letting them know. A lot of the time they will phone you ahead of time just to see if the phone number is active, because it's a random number that a little machine or whatever it is comes up with their software, spits out a number, and you end up calling it. And I think they have something automated that does this and lets them know what numbers are active and which ones aren't. So don't answer it. Going to voicemail is a different thing. I don't think that really helps them, because anybody can have a voicemail on their phone. Just don't answer it. If you're not familiar with the number, don't answer it. If it's anything important, they'll leave you a voicemail. I can't tell you how many times my phone rings from phone numbers every day that I am not familiar with. Never do I ever get a voice message. They're all scammers. At least 4 or 5 a day I get. So don't answer your phone unless you know who it is. And don't think, well, I'll just block that number. That doesn't matter. They piggyback other phone numbers. There was one time, I love messing with these scammers. So one time I had this one number call me. And it was just one of those days. And I'm like, I gotta call this person back. I feel like a fight. I just felt like I'm gonna show them. So I called the number back, and it was a real person in Canada that picked up the phone. And I said, hi, I just got a phone call from this number stating that something was purchased on my Amazon account. And she literally said, because this was a conversation I interacted with. And then I ended up hanging up on them. And that's when I decided to call them back. I probably should have said that. I apologize. And the lady said when I called it back, yeah, I know. I've been getting a lot of phone calls like this. This is getting frustrating. So they will piggyback. They have some kind of software that they can actually disguise whatever phone number they're using to whatever phone number they choose. They could actually, if they knew a number from your family member, they could probably use that phone number and fool you. It's very unlikely that'll happen though. I've never had that happen to me. But if they're able to use whatever phone number they want, I would assume they can choose whatever number they wanted. So, unless it's a family member, if it's a number where it says Tennessee or Toronto or whatever, just ignore it. If it's important, they'll call you back. Or they'll leave a voicemail. Or they'll text you. And again, you don't want to answer it because you don't want to let them know that the number is active. A lot of the time, these automated systems will think, oh, this is not an active number, and they go on to the next victim. And of course, the very first one, you don't want to get sucked into this. And a lot of the time, I find that these call centers, you can barely understand them. And there's times where I will get on there and spend a good half an hour just to listen to what the latest scam is. And I get into a conversation with them. I'm like, how can you do this? Do you have a family? And I really throw them off. Yeah. So how would you like it if somebody was stealing money out of your bank account that you could be feeding your child with? And then they end up hanging up. Now, if that was a real customer service agent, they'd like, what are you talking about? The scamming has got out of control. And I don't know why the US and Canadian governments aren't doing more about this. It's really bad in Canada. And our Canadian government should be doing something about it. There has been some organizations, I don't know if it's news or if it's undercover stings, where they've tried to shut down these call centers in India. And I remember watching it on the news one time where they did find a building in India. I don't remember what the city was. And it was like an entire top floor of a building, and there were hundreds of people in there. And they had somebody go in there undercover. And they're all on they're all active on there. And just when you are in a call center, or should I say, when you get a call from these scammers, you can actually hear the other people talking in the background. You know, a female on there, hello, my name is Elizabeth, like as if your name is Elizabeth. And for them to use a North American name or a West name Goes to show you how stupid they think people are. And they probably laugh at us every time they scam us. But unfortunately, it's not even so much that people are stupid that fall for these things. They're trustworthy. And that's the sad thing. It doesn't mean they're stupid. It just means they have a big heart and they trust people. They don't ever think that someone could be so evil. And I doubt it that this will ever make it to a scammer, a telephone scammer. But if you happen to be hearing this, again I ask, how do you sleep at night knowing you're stealing from people? And one day you will stand before God. I don't care what religion you are a part of. There's only one God. There's only one King who has all authority, and the Bible says every man and woman will stand before Yeshua when they die. One occasion will be to receive rewards, which I'm hoping I'm a part of. But the other group, like a scammer, like a thief, will stand before Yeshua to receive their judgment for the things that they have done. And there is still time to repent of what you've done. You may not be able to make it right on what you've done, because a lot of the time these people working in these call centers are working for a bigger organization, and they're probably getting paid a very small commission, maybe a percentage, because they work so hard to scam you. I mean, they work so hard to scam you. I've heard scams online, people record them, where the scammer is getting so frustrated because the person fooling them is playing totally stupid. So you know they're getting a percentage. They're not getting an hourly wage. So they are persistent on getting as much money out of you as possible, because that means it's more money for them. Friends, it is a terrible feeling of violation when someone has done this to you. I even felt violated when someone tried to scam me, even though they didn't. A couple times. They said that there was a package at the border waiting for me, and I had to pay this and I had to pay that. And at the same time, I had ordered something on Amazon, so I was expecting a package. I got this email or this text message through Canada Post. I even followed up on the link. It went to a Canada Post site. I thought it was real. And I guess it said I had to pay the duty before it could cross the border. So I clicked on the link. I proceeded to pay for it, put my credit card information in, because I really did think I was paying duty on a package I was expecting. Right away, I get this notification. Your credit card has been added to your Apple Wallet. I'm like, what? Immediately, when I seen that, I got a hold of my credit card company, and I told them to put a stop on the card. I told them what happened. So that's what happened. Somebody had scammed me. I fell for it. I'm not afraid to admit that. Right away, they were going to add it to Apple Wallet, and they were probably going to buy either an iPhone or a tablet or whatnot, and maybe resell it. I don't know what they planned to do with it. But they were going to buy, you know, these iPhones nowadays, they cost almost $1,000, the iPads and everything else. And there's so many other Apple products. So I caught it. They shut the card down and they removed it off of the Apple Wallet. But the problem is, now I had to cancel my credit card. And that is a pain. Because if you have certain things that go through, regular payments that go through, I have a couple. Not very many, my phone bill, whatever. But still, I had to cancel my card and order a new one. That was a 3-week process to get all that fixed because I was too silly to recognize what was going on. But they did such a good job on this scam because when you clicked onto the link, it went to the Canada Post website. It even said HTTPS, which means secure. CanadaPost.ca. I really got duped on that one. Fortunately, they didn't get any money out of me. They didn't get nothing because as soon as I seen that happen, immediately I shut the card down. So they probably weren't very happy with that. So it can happen to anybody. So I'm not just saying, oh, look at you silly people, don't let this happen to you. It happened to me. But I was very fortunate to stop it before it got expensive. Because I really don't know if the credit card company would have reimbursed me for that. I don't really know what they have done in that case. Now the problem with me, my buddy Adrian Scott, he works for Canada Post. I probably didn't have what I should have did is I should have sent him the text message and say, what do you make of this? And he probably would have told me it's a scam. Because he told me later on that Canada Post would never send a text message like that. If there's anything like that, I think they would send an email, there would be a phone call. He says, you're never going to see a text message like that. I didn't know. It looked legitimate. And the only reason why I fell for it is because I was tracking a package that was on its way to me. It was literally at the border. It was really at the border, waiting to clear. And I thought that was legitimate because it said I had to pay some duty on it. Well, I probably would have never fell for that. Maybe they were able to find a way to track that I had made a purchase on the site that I made it from. And they were able to track the package themselves. I wouldn't be surprised. I know it wasn't tracked through my phone because I had made the phone call to order the product that I wanted to get. So I'm assuming the company that I ordered it from or the courier that was sending it, which was in the US, they were able to see what they're doing. Or they were able to hack their system and they could track all packages being sent by them. So guys, girls, it could happen to anybody. So please, it really does make it inconvenient when you have to cancel your cards and you lose a lot of money. If a phone number calls you, if you get a text message saying you need to pay something or an email, just ignore it. If they say it's through Canada Post, get a hold of Canada Post or the US Postal Service, get a hold of them. Or if it's through Amazon, get a hold of Amazon. Or anybody. Call the actual places. Don't click on links in your phone. Don't click on links in your emails. And just ignore any phone calls that you're getting and you don't recognize them. Like I said before, if it's important, they'll leave you a voicemail. I hope this helped somebody, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And until the next walkabout, blessings in the name of Yeshua. Bye for now.